This is Microsoft Dynamics 365, and it has an embedded WMS system into it. Now, the interface between the WMS and the yard management is using the dock functionality. So as WMS is really good at kind of keeping everything inside of the warehouse on point. Where are the inventory? Where are my resources? Where are the movements and how should we move them? They end up and start and stop at the dock. That is the inbound and outbound kind of core locations. And inside of the dock management here, I can show you a bit of the interface that goes into the yard management. Now, appointments is basically an appointment connected to one of these inbound and outbound locations with the actions that are supposed to be happening. So if you look here, here is an appointment about when it's planned to start, the planned end date, and how that is done for the specific location. You also have the location in question here, and you see that locations can be multiple ones. These are just one that I've made for this warehouse, but you can have multiple different bay doors. You can also capture a lot of information here, and we can either kind of preset that based on the load and the load planning workbench and what shipping carriers we expect to do that on the appointment, so we can kind of make sure that the right trailers get to the right locations. And these are then the shipping details that get filled. Now, there are other captured things that comes from the yard management, like, for instance, tractor number or trailer number. You can also then, of course, from the ERP get the shipping container ID or collect it when you actually receive it. There's also references that goes back into the ERP which sales order or purchase order this is related to, or the load. So a load is a concept of where we have shipments or inbound transactions, either purchase order, sales orders, or even transfer orders that have some type of reference, and then we can actually attach that to this as well. And then we also have a bunch of different statuses, so we can see that we can kind of procedurally progress through this. We can have a planning session where we make sure that we plan these out, and then we firm them, we check them in, we have overtime if it runs over. When they're completed, they're marked as completed. And then we also have blinded, canceled, and some other statuses if we need that. And then we can also attach comments if we need to do that as well. Other things we also have is, of course, the appointment history. So anything that's changed is, of course, logged as we progress. And we can also capture the driver check-in and check-out details. So anytime an actual container or a tractor or trailer gets to this dock, we can capture that information and have that for perpetuity inside of the ERP system. But that's just the kind of the interface. Now, we don't have a yard management capability inside of F&O per se, but I asked Power Apps gently to actually create one for me. And so you see here, I've added that into my F&O as well. So what I did, I used the new plan function and asked it to build me a yard management solution. And this is basically what it came up with out of the box. And I did some magic to kind of make it work. And this, I'll show you just a few things that I did. So on the location side, because these are all the things that it made me or wanted to build to just manage a yard, we have different locations. I have an exit location here. I have an entry location to my yard. I have a dock one, and you see everything is now located inside of this very simple warehouse. And this is located in Manchester, just an arbitrary warehouse that I found. And you see it has this kind of staircase shape with a striped roof. We have some docks going up this side of the warehouse and also up here. There's some entryway here, and then you have a big lot that you can park the different trailers out here. You see here lot 41, for instance, is in the lot next to each other. We have dock 3 all the way up here, dock 1 and 2. So these are geolocation, just to kind of be nice to know where they actually are. Another thing I did, I built a custom screen based on this kind of layout of this location. And you see I have the kind of the shape of the warehouse here with all the docks kind of lining up here. You can add more if you want. I just added some just to be able to actually show that this actually works. And there's already trailers parked. So X404 here, we have a Bring, we have Frasers, we have a Schenker trailer kind of sitting on these different locations, and all of them are currently empty. Now, what happens is, of course, the warehouse sees that these are already now located, and then they start loading it. And when you start loading a workload, we can also do automatic updates into the different entities here. So you see if they start working on it, they will also change colors here to a different color. other things that you can do is, of course, we have a field app. So for the people that are working in the yard, they can actually clock in new arrivals. So you see the different yards that you work under. You have a truck definition that you want to have in. We can add more details. I've just added some of these. And you have the trailer, if it's a 20-foot container, 40-foot container, or just a trailer. You have the different docks that are here, and you can then see where you can put this. So let's put it on lot 51, and you can see which carrier this comes with as well, and then just do check-in. All of this can be pre-booked and all of this, but so it's just a mock-up to show you really effectively how this works. Now, in real time, this will actually update inside of this solution. Again, if the warehouse now continues to load these things, you see when it updates here, now Schenker is placed on this lot right here. Now, maybe you wanted that into this place right here. We can actually, from a command center, now click this, and you see it marked out here. I'll click move. It gets a solid line, and then I can say I want to move it to dock 3 right here. And then I click move, and it asks me to confirm this. I say yes. And maybe you also want to move this empty this empty trailer down here. Maybe I can move it up to 41 up here, and I'll click move. And you see they are marked with these arrows, just meaning that you don't kind of accidentally kind of move the same container into some other containers. Now, in the back end, of course, this is where we see that. But in the field, we'll have this application right here. And you see when they update it, it will have an instruction to move from lot 51 to dock 3 and from lot 60 to lot 41. What happens is if I can pick any arbitrary. So if this was easiest to do, I can just pick this up, and you see that it changes to be on the trailer now, or on the truck, and then click it again, and now the truck has kind of executed that move, and it's moved from 60 to 41. Another thing that if you're in field here, I can click this one, and you see it's getting picked up, and we're going to move this one down here. Again, click this, and you'll see that it actually updates. In the meantime, maybe they start working on this bring container right here, and so it gets loaded in here. Now I still have this Schenker. There's something happening here. It's still marked as being moved, but it doesn't really matter because it's kind of loaded in. There's no kind of booking. It's also in this space. Now, again, this gets now. It's in dock 3. We'll see that it changes color once it's getting loading, and then once it's loaded, it gets another color. And what we can do again is then just move it out. And so I'll just mark it, move it to the base, and move it, press confirm. And again, the people in the warehouse now on the yard, they will actually then get a transfer order that they can then pick up, move it on the trailer, and then deliver to the right location. And so you will see that actually happening inside of the warehouse, where you will have these movements happening. So now it's ready to be picked up by an external truck and sent on its merry way. And that's how you can actually extend the functionality inside of F&O. So even if we don't have the yard management solution, we can build it in. And this was built in a single day. I asked just the Power Apps Planner to just build me an app for this yard management solution. I did some extra magic to it, but I haven't spent more than a day building it out. And that is the efficiency that you can gain when you have a system like F&O that can also be really easily extended with low-code, no-code capabilities.